Hello, David. You must be thrilled sitting here. Your first job in management being at a club with stature of Blackburn Rovers. It is an honour to be given a chance to cut my teeth at a club with so much history. I hope that I can be the engineer behind taking this club back to the heights of the 94-95 season. That's the season they won Premier League title in it. Lofty for your first job. I mean, sure, yeah, they're lofty, but you know what they say, right? Aim for the moon, and then if you miss, at least you'll still end up among the stars. The stresses and difficulties of management are well documented, but what do you envisage will be the most difficult part for you? See, it's hard to identify the hardest, but I do have to say, it's probably between pressing the spacebar and clicking the left mouse button. And at 30 years old, you're one of the youngest managers in job today. Do you anticipate there being any issues with other senior players, given they're older than you? Well, we're all professionals with a job to do, and there's some respect that comes with that by default, but at the end of the day, if anyone gives me any trouble, I can always just open the editor and delete them, make it as if they never existed. Phil, who are these people? They are aware that this is a video game? I mean, it's not real life? I don't have time for this. You can deal with them. What's up, guys, and welcome to our first series here on the DGFM channel. We are doing our Back to the Top series, and the first team that we are taking on this challenge with is Blackburn Rovers. Last won the Premier League title in 94-95 under the direction of Kenny Dalglish, with Alan Shearer pulling the trigger up front for them. And now we are here in 2020-2021 season, pushing to try and achieve the same thing. So we're starting in the Championship with Blackburn Rovers, and our goal is going to be to get them back into the Premier League, win the Premier League, and maybe even push even further. Who knows if there's some European victories and European silverware in the pipeline for us here with Blackburn Rovers. So we'll see how quickly we can achieve what it is that we need to achieve here. So let's look at what the board expects us to do this first season. So it wants us to develop players using the youth system. That's kind of my preferred way to play anyway. I do like to use the new gens that come through, hopefully get a star player or two coming through like that, and sign players under the age of 22 for the future. So it sounds like the board want to focus on youth. Good, I like focusing on youth. Working within the wage budget, standard. Reach the playoffs, minimum. I don't know how likely that is going to be. We'll have to have a look at the season preview in just a second. Fourth round of the FA Cup and third round of the Carabao. Can probably do that. We'll see. My contract then expires, and then going forward, work towards gaining promotion to the Prem. So we've got two seasons, and then in the 23-24 season they expect us to get promoted, and then look at building on from that. So that's not terrible expectations. I'm not sure whether reaching playoffs is going to be viable, but let's just accept the current vision, and then let's go and have a look at the season preview for the Championship. So 6th is where we need to be in the playoffs. Now let's have a quick look at this season preview and see where it thinks we're going to be. So it's predicting us to finish 8th, so just outside of the playoffs. So the board's expectations for us are maybe slightly over-optimistic, but who knows, with a great signing or two, we might be able to kick on here. Who knows? Let's see how it goes, shall we? So how are we going to tackle this first season tactically, you might think, with our expectations being slightly above where we're realistically predicted to finish. So we are going to take a leaf out of Jose Mourinho's book and go for a fluid counter-attack style. We're going to try and soak up as much pressure as we can and then hit on the break. I think we've got the speed to be able to do it, and I think we've got the shooting boots to be able to do it, as well as a relatively solid defence. So let's take a look at these tactics, shall we? So we're fluid counter-attack style, which is a cautious 4-3-3 with a defensive midfielder rather than an attacking midfielder. And we've got our inverted forward, our winger, and our advanced forward up front. So now let's see, we're cautious mentality. Let's see what we're doing in possession. So we're running at defence and dribbling less. Do we want to run at defence? Probably not, no. We're not going to pass into space. We'll do shorter passes at a higher tempo. I like that. I'm okay with this. I am okay with this, I think. Mixed crosses, good. Yep. So in transition, what are we doing then? So we're counter-pressing, counter-attacking, and distributing quickly. That sounds good to me. And then when we're... Hang on, let me just check in possession again. Yeah, we want to overlap with our wing-backs, I think. So we'll do that. See if that plays out well for us to begin with. And then out of possession, let's see what we're going to do. We are going to have a higher defensive line and the lower attacking line. I can get on board with that. And we're going to play offside. That'll allow us to counter from set pieces, maybe. So let's, and we're saying get stuck in. Aggressive and strong in the tackle. Let's not do that. Let's just be standard with our tackles, a mix of them, I think. And I think that's where we're going to go with our tactics. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of this as an approach for the championship, a mid-table team aiming to hit the playoffs. I'm really interested to hear what your opinions on the best tactic for that is. Now let's move on to the next bit, shall we? So now here we are with what I believe to be our strongest starting 11 for the formation that we've chosen, and this is probably what we're going to stick with going forward. We do have Bradley Dack injured at the moment in subs. He's our alternative striker at the moment, may take the place of Armstrong. Let's have a little quick look at that. So we've got Armstrong, solid striker here, very decent stats. I think I've still got my colours set to one of my lower league saves, so ignore the colouring of these attributes for now. It makes people look a lot better than they are. But he looks relatively decent. 13 finishing, 17 pace, 12 dribbling. What's his strength? 11. Not terrible. Not terrible at all. But we do want to see him as the advanced forward. So let's see with the green highlighted here. First touch is okay. Technique's okay. So he's pretty middle of the road in a lot of things, but he's fast. He is bloody fast, and that's what we need with our counter-attacking style. So Adam Armstrong is a strong choice for our centre-forward here. Let's have a look at Bradley Dack. Let's see him in our advanced forward. Again, another very good option. A little bit slower, but a little bit better technically. We've got good options here for our forward position, so maybe we don't need to strengthen here at all. We need to identify the areas we're going to strengthen here, because this is our best formation pre-transfers. We've still got the whole transfer window to go ahead of us. I still need to sort out some training. So Armstrong and Dack it is for our forward options. Out on the wing here, we've got Rothwell and Elliott. Harvey Elliott, my boy, on loan from my flesh and blood Liverpool, runs straight through my veins. And now let's have a look. So yeah, he's as wonder kiddy as you would expect him to be. I'm excited to see this guy actually go. His pace is lower than I thought it would be, but his crossing pretty high. First touch pretty great. Yeah, looking forward to seeing this guy and what he can actually do in this Blackburn team. Let's see what else we've got. We've got Rothwell over on the other side, Joe Rothwell. Again, not a bad option at all. He looks pretty good. He's pretty quick. His crossing, meh, but he's there as an inside forward, so his finishing, again, meh. Maybe we want to strengthen that left wing position. Who is the second person? So Armstrong's meant to be the best, and then the next person is that they recommend is Ben Brereton, who again, quite a middle of the road player. He might end up getting a run out off the bench or in the cups or something, but we'll see. His training, though, is on striker centre. So he's actually a full-on striker, but can be used in the attacking midfield left position. So now let's see what else we've got here. So we've got Travis and Holtby. That's a pretty standard centre midfield pairing, I think. Travis is our box-to-box and Holtby is our roaming playmaker. I mean, Holtby. He's been a bit of a journeyman, really, hasn't he? He used to play for Tottenham. Spent some time at Fulham as well, if I remember rightly. But he's probably going to be one of our star players here at 29. As our roaming playmaker, I think he's gonna do some work for us. I think a lot of our goals are going to come from passes from this guy. And Travis was our box-to-box midfielder. Again, he's a bit of a workhorse. His pace and his stamina, insane. His work rate, really high. He's going to work really hard for us in that transition from defence to attack. And let's see what we've got at the back here. So we've got Douglas out on the left. Barry Douglas. He's getting on a little bit now. He's 30. He's got a few years in him. He's still got some good legs, it looks like. Above average legs. His crossing is insane for a defender, let's say. But yeah, very good defensive stats here, and it looks like we can rely on him going forward a little bit too. And on the other side, we've got Niambi. So 22, a lot on the younger side. A little bit more raw in the technical abilities, but his mental stats are huge. And again, this is insane. His work rate is dead high. And look at that. 15 acceleration, 14 agility, 14 balance, 12 jump, 18 natural fitness, 15 and 16 pace and stamina, and then 15 strength. I think he's a solid choice for our right back, and I think he's going to absolutely smash it going forward as well. And let's have a look at our centre backs. We've got Jared Branthwaite as our ball playing defender. 12 passing, not too bad. What's his vision? 12 vision, again, not terrible. His tackling's 12. Where's his marking? Marking 12. So middle of the road-ish with defensive stats there. But his passing is getting to the point now where it's looking like he's going to be a decent option. And we've got this guy on loan from Everton, so we don't really have transfer budget to make any of these permanent at the moment. The transfer budget that we do have is only £100,000, so we're going to have to be really smart in the areas that we strengthen. But I'm happy to have Branthwaite here. He looks like a solid option for ball-playing centre-back. And then on the other side, we have Dara Lenihan? I don't know how to say that. Irish names always tend to trip me up, but his defensive stats as a no-nonsense centre-back, 14 heading, 14 tackling. He's getting onto sort of like the upper end of what I'd expect in the Championship, I think, maybe even the lower end of the Premier League. So it looks like we've got ourselves a decent squad so far, even with the little bits of injuries that are knocking around. And then we've got Kaminski in goal. So our backup goalkeeper, though, doesn't look great. So I think we're going to have to sign another keeper. Because Kaminski is insane. Like, he is, from reading this, he's Premier League standard. I'm very happy with him as a keeper. We've got good old Stuart Downing here on the bench as well. Pardon me, chat. This isn't Twitch. Pardon me, viewers. Pardon me, I'm coming out of the back end of a bad cold, so my chest is still a bit heavy. Got another old Liverpool boy here in Daniel Ayala. He doesn't look super great here, 29. His heading's great, his tackling's great, but he's not very good at anything else. But luckily that's all you really need to be good at as a defender, so maybe a good option off the bench. Apparently he's our fourth best centre-back. Derek Williams being there as our first backup centre-back. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. We're going to have to strengthen at centre-back, I think, for sure. So centre-back and left wing, I think, are our main areas. We didn't look at Evans in our defensive mid-role. Let's see how good he looks. Solid, I think. But Travis and Holtby are the ones that they would rather have there, according to what the game is talking about. But they're playing slightly in front. And then Bradley Johnson is next there. He's 33. Looks like a much better option. A much better option than what we have there at the moment. So we might actually throw on Bradley Johnson instead of Corey Evans and see how that goes. So where's Bradley Johnson? There he is. So Bradley Johnson here is going to be our starting defensive mid. Corey Evans will be our backup for now. But yeah, so areas that I think I'm going to strengthen: centre-back and left wing. But this is what we're going to kick on with through pre-season. And I guess, viewers, we will see you back at the beginning of the season. We'll be back for the first game. You'll get a roundup of the transfers that we've made, and we'll kick on starting the season. I hope you enjoy this series as much as I'm going to, guys. But for now, this is DJFM signing out. Peace.